possible?
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
There's a lot of behind the scenes that I know.
Oh, it's in the book.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Rex and I are up in Joliet again. We're at my friend Rob's house. Rob is the guy that owns the lime green D-150 344 speed truck that I did a couple videos on a long time ago. And like most projects, life happens and sometimes they get pushed to the side, but he's gonna get back on this again in a little bit. I came up here because this little bracket for my air conditioning system for my charger is too thick and I have to mill it. And it helps when you have a friend with a 440 volt Bridgeport in his garage.
It'll help if you hit the right breaker.
Oh, well, there you go. So yeah, so when your friend has a Bridgeport, you can bring stuff and get them custom milled. So here's where he's at on the truck right now. It was in running and driving condition for a while, and when you have friends that say you should fuel inject it and put aluminum heads on it, and then they do, then it kind of takes a little while to get done. So it's fuel injected. He's got trick flow heads on it. Check out my earlier videos. He made his own custom steering knuckles so he could use the drop spindles and keep the geometry proper. And he's also got the redhead quick ratio steering box. It's, you know, everything new, headlight to tail light. And so kind of in the process of doing bodywork and paint. But then when you have friends that say, hey, Dakota Digital makes gauges for D-150 now. And then you tell them how awesome your American Auto Wire kit is that you just used for your charger in your Corvette. Now he's like, hey, I'm going to rip all this shit out and do that. So that's kind of what's going on. Probably at the beginning of next year, he's going to get back on the wiring and the gauges. And then after that's done, he'll start on the bodywork. Also, I stole his MSD box when my charger was up here. So that's ripped out of it now. That's got to get put back in, but he'll get all that done when he starts wiring. But so check this out in the back. This is on another video. I don't want to tear all this plastic off because it's zip tied down. But this is Rob, is this the Universal tank or the Mustang tank?
That is a Chevy pickup.
Blazer?
Blazer.
Okay.
That's a Blazer tank.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a Chevy Blazer tank. It's from Tanks Inc. It's the same stuff that I used in the '69 Corvette and my Charger, except Rob put the Aeromotive in-tank pump and in there, and he used the cool soft stainless lines, and this is all AN fitting and stuff. So he made the brackets to hold the tank because this was a side mount tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was
underneath the driver.
Yeah, this was a side
long tank that comes
yeah,
back.
this was a side mount tank, and if you get T-boned, it's a giant bomb. So then you obviously, if you're into going fast, you have better weight transfer and weight ratio. Everything's in the center. So this is probably the only D-150 you're going to see with a Dana 60. Got it from Strange Engineering, custom made 354 gear, and his Dana came with the threaded bosses for the pinion snubber. The Dana 60 in my Charger, I don't know what it's out of, but it doesn't have that. I kind of wish it did. But what he did was, and pan over here, Rex, this is Rob's custom-made pinion snubber that he's going to put on the Dana. And since it's in a pickup truck, there's nothing for the pinion snubber to hit, so he built this X-bracing, which serves two purposes. It keeps the frame tight and from flexing, and then he has the impact plate right here for the pinion snubber to keep the axle from torquing up. So a lot of cool stuff on the truck. The drop spindle is Chevy shackles?
Yeah.
Chevy shackles flipped upside down, and then
Yeah, this one's upside down.
These front mounts are the Dodge D-150 mounts that you just take, you grind all the rivets off, and then you flip those upside down. Use the Chevy shackles, and then you can drop, what, 4 inches in the back, I think?
I think the drop in the back, yeah, I think
Yeah,
it was
I
4
think it was
inches
4.
and 2 in the front.
4 in the back, 2 in the front. So, like I said, I got a short on my channel that we drove it out of the driveway and backed it around. We didn't have any brakes, but it ran and drive, and the motor's broken in. It's a flat tappet cam in the 340, but it was broken with the iron heads and the 4-barrel. And the whole thing with the swap was because one of the iron heads, even though he had them checked and Magnaflux and everything, there was a crack in, then it was seeping into the exhaust port.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a crack in the head.
Leaking antifreeze right out of the...
Yeah, it's leaking right into the exhaust. So since you had to take the heads off anyway, Sniper, fuel injection, Holley, trick flow heads, but it's running, cam's broke in, it's mechanically done. You just really need to finish the bodywork. But again, with any project, you're talking to something that's really old, you need to redo the wiring. So that's where we're at with the truck, and now we're gonna mill some stuff.
The only other thing I could mention is that I've done is this trans tunnel. I don't know if you can pan in here.
Yeah.
But I built that thing from scratch because it was an automatic truck, 318 904. Now it's a 340, and I have a aluminum 4-speed in it. And I needed a tunnel, so I fabricated that one from scratch.
Yeah, and then, so that's the 4-speed with the overdrive that you would get in like a Duster or a Dart or a Swinger or something like that. And then his plans, he's going to put in like a Tremec or a...
Yeah, what's that?
Yeah, my Keisler is actually a Tremec, I found out. So Keisler redoes the Tremec's and sells them as Keisler. I got a 5-speed in my Charger. It's got a 0.64 overdrive, which is stupid low. I wish it was a little higher, like 7.2 or 7.9, but I got 410s, so it'll save me on the highway, which I plan on doing a lot of highway driving. Maybe in a couple years, I'll see how it goes. I'll probably go down to 390s or 373s, but later on down the road when this is finished, he can swap in a 5-speed for it. But also, if you go to the ceiling right there, that is a 1969 fiberglass 1-piece front clip, and it weighs 25 pounds? 25 pounds. So when the truck's done, he's going to start his tube chassis 69 drag car with a Keith block.
I would like to have aluminum block in it. Yeah,
aluminum block, Hemi, yeah,
or...
something like that. But that truck's, we got to get the truck done first.
Yeah.
So hopefully in the next year or so, we'll be getting that done. But pretty cool stuff at Rob's house. I always like coming up here. So, and you need a friend with a Bridgeport. Get stuff done. Okay.
Right, cool. Just loosen it up.
I just cracked it.
Yeah, but... No.
Okay.
Tighten it up with him.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Custom bracketry. So this bracket that we're milling down came with my classic Auto air conditioning system, and it supports the back of the compressor. I got a big 1/4-inch plate in front that bolts in between the valley of the heads to hold the front of the compressor. And this bracket goes in front of the power steering pump bracket over the water pump assembly. And there's only an 1/8 inch of space, and that's a 1/4 inch thick. And if I push the power steering pump bracket back to slide that in at a full 1/4 inch, now the power steering bracket is at an angle and I can't get the threads to engage for the power steering pump bolt, and then, you know, you're just creating all kinds of problems. So we're just gonna mill down half the thickness to get it down to an 1/8 inch, and that'll slide between the bracket and the water pump and the housing, and then I can bolt the back of the compressor up and everything should be good to go. Okay, all right, so as you can see, we just got done, Rob got done milling my bracket for me. So this is what we did. This was a 1/4 inch, and the front plate, the kit comes with all the mounts, and it comes with a front plate, 1/4 inch plate that mounts on the front of the 440 water pump housing, and it bolts the compressor to the front, and you need something to support the rear. This goes behind the water pump bolt boss on the driver's side, in between the pump and the power steering bracket, because the power steering bracket uses that same hole. The bolt goes all the way through. So there's a gap enough, but a 1/4 inch was too much. And like I said before, if I push it back, then it puts that bracket at an angle and the bolt won't thread through to the power steering pump. I left it radiused because the water pump housing is radiused like that, and it gives more structural integrity than if it was a straight line, because then this would have a tendency to create a crack just from vibration. So it's kind of like stop drilling, only this is the opposite. But this is what I was talking about. This is the front bracket that came with the compressor from Classic Auto Air, and the compressor sits in here in this cradle, and the front of it bolts in here, and then this slides behind the power steering pump bracket behind the water pump like this. I'm going to lean over to the side, and then bolts. This bolts from the back. There's no bolt that slides through. It's a bolt that threads into the front of the compressor, and then there's another 1.5-inch bolt that slides in from the back and threads into a threaded boss there. But this 1/4 inch, this thick 1/4 inch piece wouldn't fit behind here. So we milled it, kept the radius, because this water pump boss is radius, and it slides in there. Still got some play so that when we tighten this bolt, it'll squeeze that water pump bracket together and it'll grab. So now we can blow all this apart and get all the brackets powder coated and get the pulleys powder coated, and hopefully get started on tearing this down, doing the cam change, getting the EFI on it, getting the cool QA1 suspension on it, and then we can get it back under the car. So that's going to do it for this week's video. Appreciate you guys tuning in, keeping up with the Charger build. Keep looking out for more videos.